Hey, this is Dave again from cheapwinefinder.com with another companion podcast. And actually, if you're listening to this on the new Apple podcast module, if you click the little button on top where lyrics for songs normally come up, the review on the cheapwinefinder.com website will come up as the companion to this. So this actually now is a companion podcast because you can read the review and hear me babble on all the same time, which is, a twofer. There you go. And today we've got a wine from Spain, Jamia, Spain, and it is called Time Waits for No One, Monastrell, 2017. And the reason we have a Monastrell here from Spain, Jamia, which is in southeast Spain. It's in an area that's kind of on a plateau. To the west is the mountain range, and to the east is the Mediterranean Ocean, and it's neither. It's a warmer area. So the grapes there are not your typical grapes. That's why Monastrell is like 85% of the grapes grown in Jamia is Monastrell. I mean, growing conditions aren't the same as you're going to get for, coastal ones with the cool breezes and all that. You're really not getting the cool breezes. This is a warmer area. And the reason we have this here, because Halloween is coming up. This is the middle of October. And the Time Waits for No One Monastrell has a skull and crossbones on the label. And I can't decide if it is actually a pirate skull and crossbones or the universal sign for poison, which is kind of a weird thing to put on a label of something you're going to drink. But it's got a skull and crossbones, and, there we go. It's a white label, black skull and crossbones, got red letters, which is very fancy Spanish, modern Spanish artwork. It's got that flair, even though it's simple. And it is a Monastrell from Spain, from Jamia. And Jamia has a history that goes back to the Phoenicians. I mean, they've been growing grapes there forever, and they've been growing Monastrell there for like 1,500 years. Any grape that's been still grown after all this length of time's got to have something going for it. Things don't last forever just because. So there we go. So we have what on the surface is a Halloween wine, and I actually found it at Costco of all places for $9.99. And I looked on the web to see what kind of deal you got, because Costco has like a 15% markup on everything, so it's much cheaper. I mean, some wines shops can mark it up like a third, so 15% is a good chunk. And the prices are all over the place. One was $25. That might have been Canada. I'm not sure what the exchange rate is right now, but it was like from 19 to some for 12. So this is a kind of not so much a cheap wine as it's just cheap at Costco, though cheap is our favorite. So there we go. And the one thing about it is that this isn't really a New World wine, so to speak. There used to be a big debate about Old World wines and New World wines, and that's kind of not over a little bit because New World wines are more fruit forward, and the tannins are more integrated, and the acidity is more especially balanced. And the Old World wines had a lot of structure, and the structure is as important as the flavors. Everything had their own space, and everything was equally important. And this one really tastes Spanish. You're not going to think this is, Central Coast. This one's got that earthiness to it. It's got, even some raisin and plum flavors. And, it's sometimes it's a little bit hard to tackle a little bit, but as it opens up, it gets more lush flavors and opulent, and kind of digging it a little bit. At first I was going, what's this all about? I'm going to take a sip, and just because. Yeah, let it open up. You get a little more of the chocolate, you get a little more of the luscious of the blackberry. The Time Waits for No One Monastrell for Decanter Magazine got 95 points for for a wine that I found for $10, $9.99. And Wine Spectator gave like the 2015 vintage 81 points. So it's one of those wines. It's you love it or you hate it. It's like, what's going on here? And I can see it because it isn't easy. It isn't like a little puppy dog wagging its tail. It kind of has some flavors that it dares you to like. And once you kind of, after a couple of sips and after it kind of grows on you, it kind of tastes really, really interesting. It's got personality. It's grown-up wine. It's not just easy to drink. It's not just fruity. It's not just, it's got tannins. It's got a lot of things. It's got spice, but not the usual happy, like baking spice or candy spice. This has got stuff from, the Orient or whatever. I'm going to take another sip because I want to talk about it a little bit more and want to remember. Yeah, as it opens up even more, it gets a richness to it. So at first I bought this thing because I wanted skull and crossbones because I want a Halloween wine. You want appropriate wines for Halloween. You don't really want to buy a wine that's made for Halloween itself because, why would you want to buy a wine it's made to be purchased for one day a year when even young wines last for 2 years? It doesn't make sense. They obviously don't care about what's in the bottle, so you want to get a wine that's appropriate for Halloween, but isn't Halloween necessarily. And I'm not so sure this is a party wine. This is the Halloween, after the kids have, gone trick-or-treating and you're sitting at home and the doorbell has quit ringing because they're yelling trick-or-treat and you turn the light out and you just open up a wine because it's starting to get cold because it's going to be November in a day or so and you want to sit back and enjoy a bottle of wine. This might be more of that, and it's got a little bit of skull and crossbones just to let you know that life is short and enjoy it. So there we go. I bought a wine that I thought was a Halloween party wine, and I got a serious, very Spanish, maybe difficult to get your head around, but once you do, it's worthwhile. Monastrell, time waits for no one. Their website, that's all they do is Monastrell. And the difference is oak. This one's American oak for 6 months. The other ones are more oak, though with American oak, I think the shorter is the better sometimes. And different labels with skulls, different types of skulls. The whole thing is skull-based wine, supposedly because they want you to think about, not wasting your time and making the most out of every day, by drinking wine and getting drunk. Yeah, that's good. But there you go. It's Halloween. It's got skull and crossbones. I don't know if it's pirate. I don't know if it's poison warning. But I do know that the more I drink it, the more I like it. And that's it for me. Until the next time, I'm going to find at least one more Halloween wine. I can think of another one that I know is a party wine. So maybe we'll get a party wine the next time. And that's it for me. Keep it cheap. And I'll talk to you a little bit. Adios.